Congratulations, you made it to the end of this ITIL course. In this video, we're now going to be recapping some of the major concepts that we've covered in this course. We've talked about everything from foundational concepts all the way to how IT services are delivered, managed, as well as improved. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture of everything that we've learned. We learned that IT service management focuses on applying best practices to manage IT services, as well as keeping things running smoothly while also supporting and improving on those services over time. IT service management helps us maintain and run operations, while project management helps us create. Project management creates the initial service that we offer, while IT service management helps maintain that service over the long term. One incredibly important concept to IT service management is value. Value in IT service management is how useful a service is to the person who's actually using it. Value is defined by our consumers and not by us as the provider. What seems perfect for us might be totally unnecessary for our users or our consumers. So if you're in IT support or IT service management, you can't just assume that a service is valuable just because it works. It has to fit the user's context, goals, as well as expectations. Let's go over some common roles involved in IT service management. First is service consumers, and these are anyone who uses or benefits from our service. This can include users who use the service, as well as customers who help us define requirements. Then we have stakeholders, and these are anyone who is impacted by or has interest in our service. They can include both internal teams as well as external parties like vendors, as well as regulators, and anyone outside of our organization. From there, we have sponsors who help us fund and authorize our services. Then we have service providers, which is the organization, department, group, or team who's responsible for delivering a specific service. And then we have the service organization, whose primary role is to provide services to internal or external customers. Ideally, in modern service management, roles should be clearly defined, and service relationships should be created to collaborate with multiple departments, teams, and other organizations. A service relationship is the interaction between a service provider and a service consumer. It exists whenever services are provided, whether between internal departments within an organization or across entirely separate organizations in all. These service relationships are often defined by service level agreements or SLAs, as well as formal contracts or informal expectations, and they normally form the foundation for how value is delivered, supported, and improved upon. An internal example of a service relationship would be an internal IT department supporting other departments like HR, accounting, and sales. An external example would be a managed service provider providing IT support across an entire business. Either way, whether they're internal or external, these relationships define the quality, reliability, as well as outcomes of a specific service. You have to manage them well, or it can make or break service value. Let's recap what services actually include. Service offerings include three factors or elements. The first is goods like hardware, such as laptops or computers. The second is access to resources like software or online platforms. And the third is service actions like onboarding, support, or long-term maintenance. Remember, in service offerings, we only need to fulfill at least one factor. That means that some service offerings will fulfill all three, while one will only fill one or two. It depends on the service offering you have. Something like Google Drive, for example, wouldn't provide you physical goods, but it would provide you access to resources as well as service actions like long-term support on the platform. Let's recap one of the most important and high-level ITIL concepts that pulls many aspects of IT service management together, which is the Service Value System, or SVS. The SVS covers everything from our initial service planning and design all the way to proper long-term operation and support, and it's meant to act as the foundation for how modern IT service management should operate. The 5 aspects of the SVS include the 7 guiding principles that help us drive smart decision-making, governance, which ensures that we're following organizational rules, meeting external compliance and legal regulations or demands, and holding our support teams accountable for performance and result. Then we have the service value chain, also known as the SVC, which helps us map out the most important activities for value creation. From there, we have the 34 practices, which are the repeatable actions and processes that support everything from monitoring to improvement. Finally, there's continual improvement, which is the ongoing effort to make everything about our services better over time. We then covered the 4 dimensions that help us shape every service. These are also very important ITIL concepts, and these include organizations and people, which is the structure, culture, roles, and skills of the people involved in delivering and supporting our IT services. Then we have information and technology, which these are the tools, systems, and data that are used to deliver and manage our services. It covers both the technologies used directly by the customer and those used behind the scenes. From there, we have partners and suppliers, and these are the external entities that help us support service delivery, such as our vendors, third-party service providers, or outsourced contractors. Fourth and finally, we have value streams and processes, and these refer to the workflows, activities, and procedures that help us convert our customer demand into real outcomes, creating value for the customer, end user, and our overall business. Overall, modern-day IT service management, also known as ITSM, operates on many different concepts that we use for all aspects of IT service management. We've covered many of those topics in this course, and you should now understand from a very high level how service management works out in the real world. Additionally, you should understand how services are designed, delivered, and improved on to create real-world business value, reduce risk, and meet user, stakeholder, and organizational needs.